Okay, guys, welcome back to All Nerd Everything. My name is Craig, and if you're new here, I discuss everything from movies, TV shows, comic books, wrestling, anime, anything you love. I discuss it, I talk about it. Fellow nerd here. But before I get into my official thoughts and review of Captain America Brave New World, post Endgame has been very lackluster to say the least. The only two films I've enjoyed so far post Endgame is Guardians 3 and No Way Home. And that's only because No Way Home, some people say it doesn't have replay value. I kind of disagree with that. I think it's served I think No Way Home was able to get fans together to reminisce on not only a lot of the older Spider-Man films that we grew up on, but it tied up loose ends from those Spider-Man films, while also creating a new authentic story for Tom Holland towards the end. So it feels like we're gonna get something fresh with this new Spider-Man entry whenever that comes out, I believe next year or next couple of years, whenever. But yeah, I don't think Marvel will be able to reach the heights that it has from that 10-year era from Iron Man to Endgame. And it seems like now they're just winging it, especially with this film, Captain America Brave New World. And I feel so bad for Anthony Mackie because he deserves so much better. I I am so happy that he was finally able to get his own film, and Sam has definitely progressed as a character from being, Steve's buddy to his own man and becoming Captain America in Endgame, and seeing his progression in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Even to this film, Sam feels like a leader. He feels like his own character as opposed to Steve's replacement. He feels like when I watch Anthony Mackie in this film, I feel like I'm looking at Captain America, and his chemistry with his new Falcon, Joaquin Torres. Sam and Joaquin, their chemistry together is excellent, and he stands on his own as well, as opposed to being Sam's sidekick. So they gel really well together. And the continuing story with Isaiah Bradley, I wish they would have, developed. I wish they would have kind of fleshed that out more. And the constant reshoots that Marvel keeps doing with a lot of these films over the past few years, I feel like it's it's useless if it doesn't add anything to the story. And I can kind of tell with this because the reshoots didn't really do anything, because Marvel got some backlash for one of the Israeli characters in this movie, Ruth, and I'm not too happy that they cut out Seth Rollins, which, in my opinion, that was just a waste of time. And Ruth, the Israeli character in the film, that a lot of people are deciding not to see this film because of that. I think she was kind of useless. She didn't really add anything to the movie. I feel like if you would have took her out, it wouldn't have made a difference at all. I felt like she could have easily been replaced by Yelena, or a Wakandan spy, and it would have been much better, and you wouldn't have fans protesting in the movie and complaining about this Israeli character being thrown into a Captain America film played by a black man, which I think that they set Anthony Mackie up for failure in this film. And I don't mean the I mean, the lead up to the film, how the film was promoted, and a lot of people getting upset at Anthony Mackie for saying that. I mean, whatever he said about Captain America and what Captain America means to him, and a lot of people were upset about that. I'm like, did y'all not watch Falcon and Winter Soldier? If Captain America was what America represented, it would be John Walker. And we already did that story in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So I feel like a lot of people were not paying attention at all. In this film, I would say the first 40 or so minutes is great. I love the first like 40 or so minutes of the film. The action is great. I love the score is pretty great too. The Sam and Joaquin Torres have great chemistry together. And I'm blank. There was something else about this film I really loved and I'm blanking on at the moment. But those are my positives about the film. But in regards to everything else, like after the first 40 or so minutes, the movie turns into an Incredible Hulk sequel. And a lot of fans have been asking for a sequel for that film for years. And the time you decide to focus on wrapping up loose ends of that film, it's 17 years later in a Captain America film with a black lead in it, which is another huge problem with this film is that it does not know what it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be a standalone Captain America film with starring Sam Wilson, or it doesn't know whether it wants to be a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. And they mentioned Bruce Banner so many times in this movie. He's not even in the movie. It just feels like like I said, the when we get to the second mark of the film, it just feels like The Incredible Hulk 2. And the villain is most likely the probably the worst things probably the worst part about this film. The villain adds nothing at all because he does not feel threatening or intimidating at all. And the villain, can't even remember the villain's name of this film, but he is barely in the film, and when he does show up, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't feel intimidating. I never felt like the heroes' lives were in danger because of him, and he never felt like a formidable threat at all. And I will also say another positive is the heightened drama between Sam and and Ross. And there's actually a scene in the trailer that they cut out of the film for some reason when Ross tells Sam that you're not Steve Rogers. In the film, he doesn't say anything. He just walks out of the room. But in the trailer, he's like, you know what? You're right. I'm not. And for some reason, they cut that out. And they all the reshoots felt pointless because they just added a bunch of it. It seemed like they cut out a majority of the stuff with Ruth, the Israeli character, but she still takes up a big chunk of the movie, and she has more screen time than Harrison Ford's transformation into Red Hulk, which is really sad. We only get like 5-6 minutes of Red Hulk, and also the CGI is kind of spotty. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's definitely noticeable. And if you paid attention, if you're able to notice, you can kind of tell what they left on the cutting room floorboard. It felt like the villain wasn't fleshed out enough. It felt like they cut out a majority of the villain's scenes, and it just fell flat for me, unfortunately. And like I said, Anthony Mackie deserved way better than this. This is my ups and downs for for this movie, I might have to go back and change my rating for this. But for now, this is getting 3 stars. But let me know what you guys think. I thought it was kind of disappointing. I don't think it's the worst MCU film. Above. I think it's above average, but that's just me being nice. But let me know you guys' thoughts. Until then, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe.